Okay, so you've got your 4JX1, the copper washers have failed, you've got combustion gases coming through the injector, blasting through, the O-rings are now completely knackered because of this pressure and heat that's coming through. What do? Well, you make the proper tool and extract the sleeve, then reuse it. But making the tool is quite difficult, you observe. If you use the one that I've designed on my YouTube channel, well, actually I find it easy to make, but then of course I am rather skilled in the area, to be honest, without being immodest. Well, I am skilled in the area. Why should I be immodest? I'm an engineer, for God's sakes. Right? Well, say for instance you don't want to do that. Well, then what most people do is they use a Dynabolt, they call them here in Australia. Everybody else would call them a masonry anchor. It's used in the construction industry, and it's simply a bolt that's got a knob on the end of it, and there's a metal sleeve around the outside. I'll show you. Okay, let's look. Okay, there's the bolt, there's the sleeve. Now you observe, try to get it to focus. There's the bolt, there's a knob on the end. See that? Knob. Here's the outer sleeve. The outer sleeve has got a slit in it. Notice? It's got a slit. So you put that over there, and it's just very simple. These are used for attaching things into holes in concrete, by the way. And so when you tighten that up, observe the magic. When you tighten that up, I'll try and get the slit in focus. There we go. When you tighten the screw or bolt or whatever it is, they come in various different heads. You've got screws, you've got nuts and bolts. There's all different types. You've got hooks. They're used in concrete to suspend anything, God knows what, you know, to connect construction steel to reinforced concrete, you know, whatever. But observe what's happening. The sleeve is being forced wider by that knob on the end. Okay? Observe that. Now, how can we use that in the 4JX1 Isuzu? This is for a construction industry, concrete usage. How do we use it? Well, you would have taken out your injector, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I'm wasting my time talking to you. Change, stop right now, go to find another channel. You know, find yourself a mechanic if you're lucky. I recommend you go to find a Land Rover mechanic, at least you might have some idea. Okay. You're looking down, you've taken the injector out of your 4JX1, there's the aluminium head. You look down and there's a hole around about 20 millimeters or so in diameter, and the sleeve is down at the bottom. So if you buy a bigger one of these, because they have to be 18 millimeters or so in diameter, because the inside diameter of the injector sleeve where you want to grab it with this tool is 18 millimeters in diameter. Now I'm going to cut to a still photograph here, and I want you to have a careful look at it so you understand the size of the hole and where it is you want to grab the thing. Cut, cut, cut. Okay, you had a look? I got no. I mean, I'm doing the best I can here for you. So you buy a big one of these. You go in there into the shop, no matter what. Now, I'm not going to tell you which brand to buy and size because they vary. It depends on it's a construction industry thing. It's not rocket science. You go in there and you go into your local hardware shop even, or whatever, construction shop, and you find one of these and you get a pair of vernier calipers and you measure how big that is, and you see, yep, that's small enough to be able to fit into that hole, and then after I've expanded it out by tightening the nut, it's going to be more than tight enough to really, really hold tight onto that injector sleeve on the inside of where I want to pull it from. Okay, so you visualize if you put that down in the head and you tighten it up. If you buy a big one, they're actually quite long, which is what you want. The longer they are, the better, you know. Like if they got a long thread on the rod, that's more helpful to you. But it's unlikely they'll be long enough to actually go down into the sleeve and also come out past the camshafts on the 4JX1 head. And you don't want to be having to take the camshafts out, do you? Well, you can if you want. Why? What would be the point of that? No, you need to extend that bit of thread up. Okay? Now you do that with either a piece of a bolt that you cut the end off, or a piece of threaded rod like that. Now bear in mind that this may be a bigger piece of threaded rod because it will be a bigger Dynabolt, and you weld it on. Now if you can't weld, find someone who can, or learn to weld. Okay? Now here you've got a Dynabolt with an extended rod on it. So you get a piece of water pipe, you know, a bit of metal pipe of some kind or other, and you put that, you put this down the head, you tighten the nut up on it so that this thing expands out, and it's really, really toughly held in the head, in the injector sleeve, and then you start tightening up that threaded rod, and it will pull the sleeve out. Now, some of them will be hard to get out, some of them will be easy. It depends. Okay, there's no rule. Some of them might slip out and you have to put the Dynabolt back in again and really retighten it even more. Okay, now I recommend that after you've done this type of extraction with this type of tool that you replace the injector sleeves, because it's quite likely, possible, whatever you want to say, that the injector sleeves will be either stretched bigger or scratched. They'll certainly be scratched, right? And there may not be a proper seal with the other components in the injector system afterwards. Up to you. Some people reuse the sleeves. For the sake of the price of a set of sleeves, 4 sleeves, I wouldn't bother to replace them, to be honest. I mean, you cut down, you didn't have to make a proper tool, you got a cheap tool, just the price of 1 masonry anchor, 1 Dynabolt. So you cut down there, so buy 4 injector sleeves, okay? Up to you, I don't care, you know, what do I care? I fixed mine, mine worked okay. But I made the proper tool. Took me 3 days, but yeah, I can use it again. I've used it many, many times. I repair these things very frequently for all sorts of people, but that's up to you. Okay, so that's a Dynabolt extraction tool. It works. Now I'll cut away as a final thought to a Dynabolt extraction tool that's been made by other people than me, and I'll show you a photograph of what one of these things looks like when it's been fabricated up. Okay, no mystery to it. It's not rocket science. It's very simple. Once you've got the sleeve out, give it a really good clean if you're going to reuse it. Preferably replace the bloody thing, put new O-rings on it, clean the inside of the sleeve as far as you can, get any carbon out of there for sure, and whack it back in again, mate. And follow the instructions in the manual as far as talking and so on, or you will just be doing this again in a very short time. Okay, see ya.